Marburg virus, or possibly the Ebola virus being spread at the Burning Man. We're going to watch a little bit of the beginning of this video and a few spots throughout the rest of the video. We will not watch all of it. Let's see what he says here.
So this video you're about to see is for entertainment purposes only. Nothing I'm saying is true. It is simply a conspiracy theory. A conspiracy theory that is backed by absolutely no facts whatsoever. Because of course, we live in a world where facts are fiction. Right? So, like I said, the things I'm about to say are hyperbole. The things that I'm about to say are satire. And do not represent the truth in any way, shape, or form. So I've been really paying attention to this Burning Man story today. It's all over TikTok and the news. So for y'all that don't know, they do a Burning Man festival every year. It's pretty much like a big hippie event or whatever. It's actually pretty cool. I actually thought about going before, but really not my scene this time in my life. But
it's all about the drugs, sex, and rock and roll, which is what Satan thrives on.
Strangely enough, there was this historical flood that came in and wiped out the whole festival. Like, people were trying to escape. There were reports of people dying.
Where have we seen massive floods before? This flood is just a hint of the Great Flood.
And FEMA actually came in. Now, you know, as soon as FEMA comes in, it's some bullshit. So that was another red flag when I saw that FEMA had actually come in. And we're keeping people contained at this festival. People were trying to escape, all kind of crazy stuff was going on. Anyway, so there was these reports that there was possible Ebola going around at this festival. Reports of people vomiting and hemorrhaging, coagulated blood, coughing up, just all kinds of crazy stuff like that. Anyhow, a few months ago, a source told me that they were going to introduce they. We're going to call them they from now on. I think we know who they are. So they were going to introduce this virus called Marburg. M-A-R-B-U-R-G. This was told to me months ago. Now, follow me on this. And I have to be very careful with my words. I'm like this close to being like bam. So anyhow, so they were saying that Marburg was going to be introduced into our country. Now, here we have almost 80,000 people at this festival. This torrential downpour comes in out of nowhere. I'm going to actually play a video for you where it happened in Woodstock in 1969. And it was very interesting in this video that they were interviewing this guy and he was talking about they were seeding the clouds. This was in 1969. And they even knew then that
the first target is the liberals. The liberals are going out to these massive parties, which is where they get you. Now, people can argue one way or the other about politics. It's not so much about politics as much as it is about which side they can get the most death out of. And furthermore, when these people leave, if they allow them to leave, it's going to be one of two things. Either these people are not going to be seen again, or eventually they will let these people go out and spread the Ebola. They'll drop it down on you. They'll bring it in and plant it in person. They can do that as well. They know that everybody's going to be sharing needles and they're going to be involved in orgies. So let's go ahead and skip to the next part of the video. about here. He's going to talk about the virus here. But this is actually something of a compilation of videos, and obviously I'm making a video on it, so I'm adding to it. But let's have a look here. You can pause that and read that if you like.
So Burning Man 2023 has been rained out. You know, come to think of it, that kind of reminds me of something.
I got something to say. I want to know how come the fascist pigs have been seeding the clouds. Right. The last hour and a half going over twice with all the smoke coming out of them seeding the clouds. And I want to know, why that stuff is going down.
So they've been seeding clouds for several decades, since at least the 60s.
Why doesn't the media report that stuff to the people, man? I'm telling you what happened. The planes come over an hour and a half and they see all the clouds. People of unknown origin were seeding the clouds over the... I don't know what they hope to prove for.
What's going on here?
Backing up a few seconds here, Chris Rock saved by fan after walking 5 miles to escape Burning Man flooding. So clearly we have famous, wealthy, elite types going to these events as well. But Chris Rock here, I wouldn't really even necessarily call him so much of an elite person, but he is somebody that would help add to the crowd, meaning draw in additional people, make it worthwhile to come to this event. Let's watch a little bit more here. Let's watch just a little more. Fact check. Is Burning Man a national emergency? Well, of course it is. National Guard claim surfaces in wake of festival fiasco. So the National Guard is shutting this place down. FEMA locking them in. And what are they going to do to those people? Who knows? Maybe they're just going to test them, and they may get rid of the ones that are very badly sick, but they'll probably let the ones that are not showing symptoms yet, they'll probably let them go so that they can go out and spread the Ebola for them, or whatever it is that they've created. Probably something not organic. I'm sure this can't be organic. You think about it for a moment, it just pops up. It's one of two things. Either it's man-made, meant to be a part of population control, or it's a plague from God, which we will read a Bible verse here in a few minutes. Let's go ahead and continue watching. 73,000 plus people have been told to shelter in place, conserve their food, fuel, and water. Currently at Burning Man in Black Rock City, Nevada. Watch for fever and headaches, body aches in the next 3 weeks. So this takes 3 weeks in order to know for sure. So anybody showing early onset of the disease, or if they're showing, if they're showing any early signs of this, They may keep those people locked down, and they may disappear, those people, or unalive them. But the rest, it's just like the China thing that it's difficult to say on video because they may take the video down. But they locked everything down for that a few years ago. And then what happened? It mysteriously got out anyways, didn't it? And you have a 3-week period here where symptoms can show up. Let us continue the video. This is the CDC.gov. Right there. It's from them. There's the blue check mark.
Most of y'all have probably heard that Burning Man was declared a national emergency, but there's some pretty crazy stuff coming out. So it was announced earlier that Burning Man was declared a national emergency because it was flooded. And so they sent in FEMA, which already seemed kind of like a weird reason to send in FEMA and keep anyone from leaving the festival. 73,000 people they're keeping locked in there for flooding. Now there's some new terrifying information coming out that there's a virus on the loose in the festival and that people are getting really sick with boils, vomiting, hemorrhaging. To me, this makes way more sense than flooding in terms of what their response was to the situation. This is a text from one of the festival goers, and he said, "Yo, just figured you should hear from me first. Daryl is crazy sick with something that has him coughing up really coagulated blood. Medic showed up wearing a full suit. No idea where he is now. I would stay inside your camper." And he goes on to say that an outside agency is putting up a fence. This is a different festival goer that...
Yeah, that outside organization, your FEMA, your National Guard, your IRS and federal agents and all sorts of groups of people are going to fence you in. This is just a sample of what's going to happen on a much larger scale. They're saying it's Ebola. And Ebola actually is dangerous compared to the other thing. You know the thing.
that said, "You're never gonna fucking believe it. They're saying it's Ebola." Freaking Ebola at Burning Man, guys. If this is true, that is insane. I just hope that everyone...
All that fire, the Burning Man fire. Now, where have we seen people being trapped around fire before? What has happened over the last few weeks? Could it be Maui? Huh. It's all about the fire. A lot of things circle back to the fire in various forms.
Burning Man. To all of the people in Burning Man, I am sorry that you fell into their trap. Yeah, I don't know if all of you spiritual people understand, but they want to get rid of all of you. They is the bad guys, the evil ones, and they have an Agenda 2030 where they want to get rid of half the population of the planet by the year 2030. Unfortunately, that equals 100% of spiritual people. People who don't go with the narrative. So everybody at Burning Man, the 73,000 people there, I'm sorry that you fell victim to the evil one's plan. But, you know, you should have kind of expected something. Because they don't...
all spiritual people, which is a loose term, really, because really anybody that is a part of any form of religion that could translate to Christ is going to fall into this category. The spiritual people, he's probably referring more to the hippie spirituals more than Christian spiritual, is my guess. I don't think he realizes it. I understand he's showing compassion for the people, but these people going to this Burning Man, they're not there to be in the spirit with God or of God. It's all secular. But because these people are in fact open to the idea of something beyond this world that isn't fake, like aliens, you will be targeted. If you are watching this video, if you've watched this long, you will probably become a target. Keep that in mind. Keep your head on a swivel. Watch for the return. But obviously make sure that you are right with Christ. Invite him in. I encourage everybody to pray right now. Jesus, come in to my heart and wipe away my sins. And I give faith and trust into you, or I put faith and my trust into you. There's only a little bit left of the video, about 38 seconds, probably a little less with the end credit. I'll go ahead and let it play since we're so close to the end.
I want you around. And you just decided to go to Burning Man and say, hey, I'm going to walk right into the bad guy's trap, and now they're flooding you, and now they have Ebola over there. So good luck. My prayers are with you. And
that's the end of that. Let's look at a couple comments real quick here. Janae, no weapons formed against me shall prosper. Don't live in fear. Absolutely. It's all part of God's plan. We are conspiracy realists. I like that term. Marburg was my first thought. And the mosquitoes being released. Heavy rain in the desert. Okay. Well, let's come over here. Just what does the Bible say about plagues? And ye shall hear of wars and rumors of wars. See that ye be not troubled, for all these things must come to pass. But the end is not yet. For nation shall rise against nation, and kingdom against kingdom, and there shall be famine and pestilence and earthquakes in diverse places. Divers diverse places. That means many, a variety, multiple places. Pestilence. What does that mean? Let's come over here. A fatal epidemic disease, especially the bubonic plague. Well, I will leave you with this one last thing here. I want to show in the Bible very briefly. I'm going to show my physical Bible here so that you can see what it says, because you've seen it on the Google right there. Matthew 24 verse 7. Holy Bible, King James Version, Words of Christ in red. Which is fun because that's what we're going to be looking at. This is Matthew 24. Turn the page. For nation shall rise against nation, and kingdom against kingdom, and there shall be famine, and pestilence, and earthquakes in diverse places. It says it right there. The words may change slightly from Google, but you can obviously see what's going on. This is very important. Don't get caught up in it. Cling to Christ. Do not cling to this world. Give freely. Spread love and the word of Jesus. And don't forget, do not try and save your life by denouncing Jesus in the face of they when they are upon you. Don't do it. You will lose your soul to hell. All glory to Christ.